All right, guys. Welcome back to week 1 summary class. And I would like to understand, I have seen a couple of questions coming up here and there for the setup for the installation of JDK. So I just need to know, where are you guys? Avril says she's done with the setup of Java as well as Eclipse. I'm trying to understand how many of you didn't do it. I've gone through all the videos and setup complete. Perfect. Thank you, Brian. What about others? Keith is saying all done. Okay.
All done from my side also.
All right. Perfect. Thank you, Prateek. Who else we have? Um, Amy, what about you? Amy, I cover all. That's great. Bino? Bino, what about you? This is very, very basic, right? So I need everyone to be completely into it. Bino, can you please tell me if you're done with the setup of Java and Eclipse?
Yeah, I've done the setup for Java and Eclipse, but I think I pinged you regarding yesterday that I was not getting certain answers. I mean, the simple program was not working. I don't know why.
I'm not able to hear you much, Bino. Your voice is very subtle. I don't know why. Can you come near to the mic, please?
Okay, is it audible now?
Yeah, it is audible now. Thank you. Go on, please.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So I have done the initial setup like with the Java and Eclipse, but the problem is that when I try to run the simple program, I think I have sent you the screenshot. Like I was not able to get the expected result, so I have some issues there. So other than that, the setup is done actually.
Where did you send to me? Is it in the Slack, in the common session, common channel, or you pinged me?
Yeah, I think this. Yeah.
Yeah, it was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't make it in the earlier. I mean, in the initial days of the week.
No.
When,
No, I wasn't able to.
okay. So this will never work, right? Because you are trying to put num1 plus num2 as a string.
Oh,
It will
okay.
obviously print num1 plus num2. This
Okay.
is, you have to add num1 plus num2 as in they are variable, right?
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that's why I didn't get the result. Quite
Okay.
obvious. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Right. So that's that. Okay, Rai is saying she can't hear anything. I don't know. Everybody's hearing me, right?
Yeah, sounds very good.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people are not able to hear me.
That must be their own audio setting. They're going to have to maybe
Yeah.
go out. Going to have to log out and log back in and maybe use the computer audio.
Okay, Rai, you can hear me now, right? You have to just change the audio settings there. Can you hear me now,
Yes,
Rai? Okay,
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, so let's see. Okay, all right. So I will anyway go through all the topics, and we will cover up with the the assignments that I have given you. Okay, so let's go on with the first one. Class 1 presentation, and let's go on with it. So that is the okay. I will really not go on with the what is software testing. Everybody, I believe, knows this. You can look at my video and you can look at how I have explained this particular section, I will not go through this because this is quite theory. I'll go to straight into the section where I am starting with Java. Okay. Well, what is Java? We have understood from the video, or probably you guys already know, that it is an object-oriented programming language, right? What is object-oriented programming language? Meaning a language that is following object-oriented principles like inheritance, like polymorphism, like abstraction, encapsulation. These are different type of what do you call as concepts that object-oriented principles are based on, and Java follows that. So it is an object-oriented programming language. In Java, we have three components that we should be concerned about: Java Virtual Machine, Runtime Environment, and Development Kit. So let's understand the JVM. So JVM is basically, you can say it's a concept. I mean, it's not something that you can say that it is. I mean, you will not find a JVM. Wait a minute. Sorry. I am getting few more people to come in. Okay, I think Agatha is joining. All right. Hey, Agatha, can you hear me now? Abe. Okay. Let me see. Agatha, are you here? I see someone coming with Victor. Can you please tell me who is Victor here? Hi, Victor. Can you tell me who is this?
Hi, Suvik. I just changed.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you for admitting me.
Okay, no problem at all. Thank you. We have Abe as well. Okay, that's good. All right, so what is JVM? So guys, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to recap whatever I have discussed during the week one in different videos. I'm trying to go for a recap so that it is absolutely getting registered into your mind. And then what we are going to do is we are going to, just a minute, I see Pankaj coming up. All right. Guys, please make sure to join the class by 10 o'clock. Otherwise, you know, what happens is I start the discussion and then I will have to admit you guys one by one, which is kind of getting distracted from the main session. So please try to be in on time. Okay, so we're discussing about JVM. JVM is basically, you can say it's a concept that is, you can say it's an abstraction, kind of a layer that sits on top of operating system. When you are running a particular Java program, okay, I see Prabhu coming up. Okay. Hi, Prabhu. This is Souvik here. I know, thank you for joining. I know this is your first class, and I know Shoaib referred you. Thanks a lot for coming up here. We have started the class. I will definitely come back to you for an introduction. Everybody gave an introduction on the day one. So I'll come back to you there. But for now, you can just go with the flow and try to learn the class, okay?
Yeah, sure. My apologies for everyone joining late.
No problem. Just try to be on time from next week, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so as I was saying, JVM is an abstraction that sits on top of operating system. And we are basically running, when we are running a Java program, we are running onto the operating, we are not running onto the operating system, we are running onto the virtual machine. Basically, the virtual machine is a concept that is built under JRE platform. JRE is nothing but Java Runtime Environment. So I've given a quick understanding of how this exactly works. So we have a source file. It could be a simple source file. We use something called as a compiler. Why? Because source file is written in simple English. And what we need to do is we need the source file to be readable by the machine, by your system. So what we need a compiler, meaning we will be using something called as Java C, which will help us to compile that particular code, the source code, which is in simple English, to a machine readable format. Machine understands only 0 and 1. In electronics world, we only know the electronics will, I mean, the machine will exactly know this. It will know either switch on or switch off. That's it, either 1 or 0. Because when you are performing a series of combination of certain pattern of 1 and 0, that means something to the machine, right? You have to understand what is binary to understand this concept a little bit better, right? So how exactly the binary system works. I mean, a number can be easily converted to a binary system. You can go to the Google and figure this out, but I will not go to that direction right now. Basically, it is compiling the source code into multiple zeros and ones to create the entire program that can be executed under, I mean, with the help of the machine, right? So when we are compiling this, it gets converted to a byte code, as I said, 1 and zeros, right? And once we have it there, that's where Java Virtual Machine will run the program on its own on top of the operating system. We are never running the source file directly into the operating system. We're running it with the help of Java Virtual Machine. So that is a slide talking about. I'll quickly go to the next one. What is JRE then? So you can say JVM is sitting, the JVM concept is sitting within the JRE. JRE is consisting of two things. One is certain libraries. I can prove that to you when I will open up my Eclipse. I will show that to you, that what exactly library. Okay, I will show that to you. And we have JRE, and within the JRE we have certain libraries as well as JVM that helps us to execute a program. In order to execute a Java program in a platform relevant JRE is enough, meaning you don't need to install JDK if you want to just go ahead and simply execute a Java program. You don't need a JDK. You can just run it with the help of JRE, Java Runtime Environment. Okay, so this is what is JRE. Let's go to the next level. Why do I need JDK then? We need JDK because we will have to, okay, I see Davey coming up. All right, do I have Davey here? Hi, Debbie, thank you for joining. By the way,
Hi.
Hi, try to, thank you for joining. I know this is your first class, so I know that your time zone is different. You and Eric is making it up early in the morning. I really, really appreciate that. It's just that if you can somehow manage to be on time, like 10 o'clock GMT. I know it is very early for you guys. You guys are from South America, right?
Yes.
I know, I'm so sorry. I mean, I totally understand that it's quite early for you guys, but if you can make it up once in a week, it'll really be great for you guys to be in the training, right? So just keep it 10 o'clock GMT. Thank you. So by the way, Pankaj, I'm not sure if Pankaj is able to hear me or not. Just a minute. Hi, Pankaj, can you hear me? I don't see you in audio.
Yes, I'm here.
No, I'm just talking to another guy called Pankaj. I'm seeing that he is not. Yeah, I think he left maybe. All right, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so what am I saying here is JDK basically is built on top of JRE and DevTools. DevTools that will help you to develop the Java program. So we need DevTools, we need JRE, and within the JRE we have JVM. This is what we are, talking in terms of Java that we install when we are installing JDK or Java into our system. So we just go to this particular location. I have already probably given you there. So you just go to Google and you just say download Java download, right? And Java 11, I can say. Guys, try to install Java 11 It is, you see, it is in Java 11, right? I think Java 8, up till Java 8, we had two different sections. It was JDK as well as there was a JRE. You can either download JDK or JRE, right? But I think from 11 onwards, it's just one stuff, and which is Java Development Kit. I don't see a JRE as such there. I think it's just JDK. That is what we need. When you install Java, that's what you have, JDK. So you can see something. The question is how, okay, let me go to the question. The question is how Java is platform independent. That is the question that you probably would like to understand. Meaning what? Meaning you as a developer can develop the application in any environment, meaning you can have a Windows operating system and you have your JDK installed there, and you can simply implement your program. That's totally fine. And then you can give that program to your client who is running a JRE and who's having JRE and he's owning a Mac, right? Your program will still be working in your client's machine. The question is, how is that possible? How is that even possible? Because you are developing it in a Windows operating system, how you are able to make it run in a Mac. It is possible because if you go to this particular location, you can see that we are actually installing JDK for different operating systems, meaning I have a JDK for Linux, I have a JDK for OS X, I have a JDK for Solaris, I have it for Windows 64-bit. I think there should be another link for, I think this is all 64 bits that I'm looking at. There should be another one for 32-bit as well, right? So the point is, depending on what is your operating system, what is your CPU architecture, whether it's a 32-bit or 64-bit, you can choose to install your Java, which is basically having JDK into it, and we can implement our program in your operating system, and then that can be moved into your client's operating system, and they can run it as well, even if it's a different operating system, because everyone, depending on their operating system, will be installing a different version of JVM that is running on top of the current operating system. That's all. I would like to understand whatever I just said so far. Is it clear to everyone until this particular slide deck? Is it clear to everyone? Yes, no. It's a very, very simple concept. Give me a shout if you're not understanding, please. These are basic fundamentals. Everybody should, just register in their mind forever. If you have any questions, please shout. Shoaib, do you have a question for me?
So when we say it's a platform independent, we don't have to do anything as such. If we have developed something in JDK Windows and we hand over it to the client, because they have JDK kit developed, installed on their system, this will just accept it.
Exactly, that is true. Because JVM is running, so why it is happening? Because everyone is installing their own version of the JDK or JRE. So the JRE, the client will install, they will obviously not be able to install a Windows JRE in a Mac. That is not possible. They will have to install a Mac version of the JRE. So your program that is built on whichever operating system, that will never matter, right? Because JVM is sitting on top of, your operating system. That's it, right? Is that clear?
Sure. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I see another person joining in. Frey, thank you for joining in. We just started the class like 30 minutes back. Try to be, coming by like 10 o'clock GMT. I understand that for some of you guys, it's very early, and I appreciate that you are making this effort. But once in a week, if you can do that, it'll really, really help you to clear a lot of your questions, because in the live session, you can ask me the questions directly. That's how this course is a little bit different than what you see others in the market, right? So thank you for joining in. I will come back to you, Frey. I think last week you were not there, and we actually have gone through a round of introduction. So I'll come to you a later point in the class. Okay, thank you. Can you hear me, by the way, Frey? Hi, Frey, can you hear me? You can unmute yourself from the chat panel, from the participants panel. I'm not sure if you're able to hear me because, anyways. All right, so let's see this above in the action. Okay. All right, thank you, Frey. All right, so let's see above in action. Whatever I just said, I said this, right? A JDK, a JRE, and everything. How exactly is happening? And on top of that, we also have to understand this particular situation where your source code, compiler, bytecode, and JVM. So how exactly this is happening? Let's try and figure this out. It's very, very simple. What I will do is I will not even go to the Eclipse editor. I can simply go ahead and open up I can just create a simple text file here, a simple text file here. And the text file, we will name this text file as my first program. Simple, my first program. Whatever the name of the file is, I'll copy this because that is relevant to me. And I'll I'll open up the file. And in the file, I'm just going to write this. I'm just going to write some syntax. The syntax probably is not making sense for many of you, but we will be using it over and over again in the whole course. So you will get familiarized. Don't worry about that. So right now, what I'll do is I'll write some syntax. I'll say public class, and we will give this name, the name of the file, okay? And I'm just going to add a curly braces here. So you can say, this is the section where my program will be executing. That's fine. And inside that, I'm going to write something called as a, what do you call is a method. What is method? We will talk about that and again, I'm going to add some keywords here, which is not going to make sense to you right now, but I will go to it in details later on, right? By the way, Omotola, thank you for joining. Please try to be on time. Okay, so here, what I'm saying is I'll say public static void main. Okay, what exactly is this? It is a main method. You can say it's a main method. Main method is a method that is needed from where you can start the program. It is needed to start the program. So when you run the program, you need to say that this is my kickoff point. So I'm just going to add a comment here. You can add a comment in Java with the help of /, and I can say this is the kickoff point for the program. Correct? This is a comment. Comment meaning a string of text that be ignored by the Java program. That is what is comment meaning. Fine. So public static void main, I'm going to say within the main, I'm going to say string of array. What is an array? I've discussed a little bit in the week number 1. I will go through it today again. And I'll say args. It's a parameter. That's fine. And let's try and understand this a little bit better. And here I'm going to write system.out.println. And in here, I'm going to just say, hi, this is my first program. Maybe for some of you guys, it is a very simple text that I'm doing right now, a very simple program that I'm writing right now. But please hang on with me because we will, as I said, everyone last week, that we will get started from very, very basics, and then we will slowly go to the advanced level, okay? Because we have different people coming from different understanding and different experience. So that is why we are starting from very basics. So I can just save this file. When I save this file, that will be still in a .text format. You can see that. You can easily see that this file that I have here, it is basically in a .text format. It is not in a executable format, like it's not in a .java format. So I have to save it to a .java format. What I will do is I will quickly copy this file into my Wisdom QA location. Okay, let's go to this particular folder. Inside this folder, I will quickly add in this particular file, and then I will go to the location. All right. So what I will do, one more thing, what I will do is I will try to open up this link in my command prompt. Okay. So I have a command prompt right here. Okay. And what I'll do, I'll say cd, and this is the path. Okay. This is the path where my program is located. Why are you having a problem? Cannot be found. Okay, this is a different command prompt. The command prompt that I have here, it is not the one which is coming directly from Windows. So just open the actual command prompt that comes from the Windows. I'll just say this. Okay, and I am inside this particular folder. So there are a few commands that you probably have already used, but I will anyway go through it. First and foremost, I can say dir means show me all the files and folders I have within this directory. And these are different files and folders I have within this directory. I think this command is a very simple command. Everybody probably uses it every day. So now here you can see I have this particular file. The file is called my first program. My first program, this guy here. It is a .txt file, right? I need to convert this guy to a .java file. How can I do it? I can do it directly here as well. So I can just say, I'll open this up and I will quickly say file, save as, and I'm just going to save this as a .java file. First and foremost, I will choose all files and I will say .java and I will say save. That's it. So it got saved at as a .java extension. So now if I just run the same command called dir, I have the file called as, you see, my first program.java. Okay. Now to execute this is a simple English written file, which is probably not making sense to the program. Obviously, it's not making sense to the program. So we need to somehow, first and foremost, use Java C to compile this to the machine readable format. How can I do it? I will just simply say Java C, very simply Java C, and I'll say my first Java program and enter. And it's taking some time and it got compiled. Now I will do one thing. I'll say dir one more time and let's see what happens. You see now this .java file got converted to a .class file. Okay, I mean, it's not converted, it just created a .class file. It's not converted, it got created a new file called as .class with the same file name. Now this file, if I try to open this up in from my program, from my Windows, so this is the file, right? My class file. If I try to open this up, do you see that? It is not understandable by me or you because it is something gibberish. It is something that can be understandable. It is understandable by the machine. So it got converted to a .class file. That is the same situation that I mentioned earlier over here, where I said a source code got compiled and got converted to a byte code. Now I am in a situation where I can run this into my Java virtual machine. And to run this, I will just use the command called Java, my first program. Don't need to use .class, just say my first program and enter. And it just says this printout. This is my first program. Why it printed this? Because if you look at this particular text, I have a command here saying system.out.println. Println, system.out.println is a command that will let you print something into the console. So whatever is within this particular double quotes It is basically a string. It's a string that will be printed for you in the console. Correct? This is a simple understanding of how a Java program gets compiled and then get executed. Okay, I would like to understand if everybody is okay with the explanation. Whoever has come new, whoever is already knowing me or from a previous batch, just let me know if everybody is all good. Abe, Brian, Devi, Prabhu, is it all making sense? Please shout. If you are not understanding, just shout. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. 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 Good. Good. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. If not, just switch on your audio and say, I'm not understanding this. I'll go again. I'll go again. Okay. Perfect. Okay. That's good. That's good. So guys, as I said earlier, these live classes are very, very important for you guys. So please be focused. Please keep yourself isolated for this 2.5 to 3 hours this weekend, every weekend, so that you can ask more and more questions, because you're spending the time and money for this program. So you need to be focused into it, right? So ask me more and more questions, because by asking questions, it will not only help you, but it will also help others, because everybody is thinking from a different angle, right? And nothing is simple, nothing is irrelevant, nothing is stupid. You can ask me any simple question, and if you think it's simple, it's totally fine. Maybe it's not simple for some other person. Ask me the question and I will answer it for you. Okay, so that's that. So let's go on to the next slide, which is my Java installation.
Sorry, Stovik. One
Yeah,
quick question.
please go on.
So now when you ran this program using your CMD command prompt,
Yeah.
executed this program using this.
Mhm.
So if a computer doesn't have an Eclipse, and if they were to write their program on this text file,
Okay, yeah.
and if they were
Theoretically, it will definitely work, but practically it is impossible. Why? Because it is not possible to maintain hundreds and thousands of .java files, without a dev editor like Eclipse or IntelliJ. It's never possible. I mean, you will slowly understand why having an editor is absolutely critical. That's the only option that you have. I mean, you cannot perform a lot of things without the editor. For example, you cannot perform a debugging. Debugging, guys, I'll tell you something. Lot of students I have seen, they are very, very confused, as well as they are very much, I think they get scared about debugging. Debugging is the bread and butter for a developer. You cannot avoid debugging. I will go to that section. I will show you how to perform debugging in details, and that can only be done in Eclipse or IntelliJ or similar editors. Okay, without debugging, you are nowhere, and in the command prompt, you cannot perform a debugging. You can just simply run a simple Java command, and that's it. That's fine. But there is always a debugging that is needed. Why? Because when you write a program, it is 100%, there will be a situation that at the initial stages, your program will not be performing or not be outputting the result the way you are expecting it to be. So that's where you go and you start debugging. And if you don't know how to debug, then it's a real problem. On top of that, in a command prompt, you will never be able to debug. You can just simply run some simple commands. That's it, right? So I think that answered your question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one other question I had was that if you don't have Java in your system,
it will never work.
Then you can't run on CMD as well, isn't it?
No. Obviously,
okay. Yeah. Perfect. That's all. Thank you.
The command that I ran here, Java, right? I say Java, space minus version, and this guy gives me back a response, right? This guy gives me back a response. You will never get a response if Java is not installed here. Okay, and we will later understand about Maven. We will later understand about Git. So all these tools needs to be installed in your system so that you can get a feedback from the command prompt when you try to run some command. Otherwise, it will never give you the result, right? So here we talk about the Java installation. I have spoken about Java installation in detail in the video. So I think most of you guys told me that it is already done for you. If it is not done, please let me know. If it's not done, please let me know so that after the class, after this particular class, I can sit with you and I can install Java and Eclipse for you guys. It is already mentioned in the videos that I have shared, but if it's not there, if you have not installed it, then I can do it after the class, right? So I will not go through the Java installation situation and configuration. Configuration meaning nothing but adding the Java binary location inside your environment variables. That's it, right? You have to use something called as Java_home. That is the environment variable that will be pointing to your Java bin folder, right? That's it. So we will go through all of that when after the class if you haven't done it yet. So let me quickly go inside the next one, which is installing Eclipse Id. Again, everybody said that you have already done that. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll quickly open up Eclipse IDE as well. That's my Eclipse. And what I will do is when you open up the Eclipse IDE, you will be asked to create workspace. What is a workspace? You can say workspace as a folder, a simple folder, inside which you can keep n number of subfolders or projects, Java projects. So I can just simply create a folder right now saying Wisdom QA, Feb 21, correct? And I'll say launch. This is my workspace I'm creating in this system, and I will be using all our projects inside this particular workspace. So I'll say launch. When I do that, the Eclipse will launch. And when it will launch, it will be obviously coming with some kind of a default screen. We will take it out and then we will just quickly go through the layout of this tool, okay? All right, that's the welcome screen for Eclipse, that's fine. I'm going to just kill the welcome screen here. Just exit out. And then I have few things here in this entire panel. I have on the right-hand side, I have task, I have outline, I have problems. I don't want any of them, nothing. Just make it cleaner, okay? Eclipse can be used by developers, the application developers, the QAs and everyone, right? So there are different tools and panels that are used by developers, right? So we don't really need to go through all of them. We just want to kill or exit out from everything that is irrelevant to us. I'll also clean it. These sections, they are absolutely not needed. And that's the simple clean panel. On the left-hand side, we will be creating projects, and those projects can be seen on the right-hand side. I mean, each and every file we will open up in the right-hand side. That's the Eclipse. Simple. All right. So Eclipse installation is what we have spoken about in this particular slide deck. Let me quickly go down. Java program, basic Java program in Eclipse, and understand the inside. And I will take some questions after that. That will be the first class. All right. So how can I create a simple program here? I can create a program or a project in Eclipse in multiple ways. When you open the Eclipse for the first time on the left-hand side, you will see create a Java program or a project. So I just say this, or I can go to file and I can say new Java project, file new, come on, file new Java project. I can even do that. So I can just say Java project and it will ask me, it will take me to a wizard where I can perform certain, I have to provide certain information. For example, I have to provide the information of my project name. So I'll just say week one summary. Week 1 summary. Okay, and you can see that it's asking me a few options. For example, in my system, I have JDK 11 installed. So it is asking me whether I'm happy to use JDK 11 for this project or not. If I'm not, then I can probably use a specific sorry, I don't have any other Java installed, so it is not showing me here. But in your system, if you have multiple Java installed, then it will show you a list of Java that are already installed, and you can choose to create a project under a specific Java version. You can do that. But for me, I have 11, and I'll keep it like that. So I'll just use default JRE JDK, which I have already installed, and I'll just say next. In the next, it just says some Java settings. I don't really need to do anything here to be very true. You can just say finish, or you could have just clicked on finish. By the way, when you get this section called create info Java, module info Java, just say don't create. Every time say don't create it. You don't need this. Just say don't create. And that's the simple Java project you've created. Now, if I just expand this guy, okay, I have few things. I have a Src folders, Src meaning a source folder inside which you can keep your source files, or a Java project or Java file, .java file. And then you have a system library. I did say you earlier that your JRE comes along with JVM as well as a lot of libraries, which makes that whole JRE functioning. Correct. So if I just open this, you can see this icon here. It looks like a couple of books sitting on top of each other. That's a library. Okay, that's how Eclipse consider the libraries, right? That's a icon that is shown to you by Eclipse. Okay, if you open up the same project in IntelliJ, it'll show you in a different way. But for the Eclipse, that's how it shows the library. Now, if you can expand this guy, you're seeing something. You're seeing hundreds and thousands of Java jar files. You can see the extension called .jar. What is .jar? You must be thinking. JAR means nothing but Java archive. Archive. Why? What is Java archive? Java archive is nothing but a zipped. Yeah, Avril, please go on. You have a question?
I was wondering what the difference between Java or Eclipse for Java developers and Eclipse for testers is.
When you are installing Java, when you're installing your Eclipse, that's what it says, is it?
Yeah, there's two different versions. There's one for testers and one for Java developers.
I'm not really sure what is the testers. I have never installed the testers, Avril. I'll have to look into it, what kind of features they are having there. But I always use developer because I think, why not? I mean, it should give me the full development capabilities. So I will actually have to look into it and I'll come back to you on that. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Cool. So what is Java archive? Java archive is nothing but a zipped version of multiple Java packages. Now, what is a package? Let me go through that. Okay. What I will do is I'll quickly expand any one of these jar file. For example, Java compiler or Java data transfer, whatever, right? So I'll just quickly expand one of this. And you can see this guy over here is having something called as a package. A package is having a specific icon like a box, and it has got a knot on top of it, right? Rope knot on top of it. That's a package. That's how Eclipse thinks it is a package, right? And now if you just open this up, a package, if you open this up, what do you see? You see multiple class files. So if I go it one more time, so we have at the very bottom, we have Java classes, class files, and then we have packages, package, okay? Not package, just package. just package. And then we have dot jar file. Okay, and then we have a library. I hope that is understandable. So we have a library. A library can have hundreds and thousands of jar file, and a jar file can have hundreds and thousands of packages, and a package can have hundreds and thousands of .class files. The one that I opened is having quite low number of .class files, but if I open up this compiler, let me open this up. Yeah. Okay, I'm getting some questions. Please go on. Can you create one more project as week 3? I'm trying to create one, but I can't see an option to create one or more project. I can see create folder, but no libraries coming automatically. Sure, Pratik, I can just go with that, no problem. So let me open up something that has, yeah. Look at this guy, Java desktop, java.desktop. That's the jar file. And the jar file is having so many packages, and each and every packages will have like so many different classes. Like see, decoder, so many classes. So somebody like you and me, or a team of people, are creating these libraries or .class files, packaging them, and then creating a jar file out of it, and then putting them as a library. That is how a library is created. Now, how can you create a .jar file? I'll go through that as well. So let's try to, this is a library situation. To take up your question, Pratik, it's very simple to create another project in this section again, or you can just say file, new project, file, new Java project. And I can just say, let me clear my drawing. And I can just say here.
Only see project, not Java project. If I click on file.
I'm not hearing you correctly. Can you go on, please, one more time?
I'm saying if I click on file option, I'm only seeing project, not Java project. That's the second option if you select.
Yeah, you don't see Java project?
No.
Which version of Eclipse do you have?
I need to check that.
Okay, can you just try with other?
Other.
Can you click on other? And in other, if you go and you see Java, I click on this, and then you can say Java project. If that's another way. Do you see? You see other?
I clicked other. I can see Java only. Java project.
Yeah.
Java project. Yeah. Okay.
And then you can say.
Okay. I got it now. Thanks a lot.
You got it, right. I think when you add this like it, and then it gets added to your menu item, so that every time you will see your last selected option, right?
Okay, fine. Thanks a lot.
No problem. So that's there. Now, what I'm saying here is, let's try to create some packages. Very simple. You can create a simple package. Package meaning what? You can keep multiple different Java files inside that. So new package, simple package. So I'll just say Java test, a simple package. I'll say finish. And that's a simple package. Right now, the package has nothing, so it's white in color. But if I just go ahead and add a new Java file, a class file, we're using a class file to add our code. So I say class file. In the class file, there is another wizard. Hi, Anisha. Just a minute. Anisha, are you there? Yeah. Okay, Bino is gone again. Some of you guys are disconnecting quite frequently. Is it something like a technical problem at my end or at your end?
I think I have unstable internet connection here. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just a minute. Anisha, you're quite late today. What happened? She can't hear me. She's not connected to the audio. Hi, Anisha. You're quite late today. What happened?
Hi, Souvik. Hello.
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Souvik. My MacBook suddenly crashed, and I have just logged in from my work laptop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think my husband just went to give it over to the Mac store. So hopefully, I get sorted out by tomorrow.
Sure. Thank you.
Did I miss a lot?
Yeah, you did miss almost 35-40 minutes. Yeah, that's fine. You can just watch the video. That's fine.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. So what am I doing? I'm just creating a Java class, right? So in the Java class I'm creating inside a package. That's how we should do it. So I'm just saying my first program, which is exactly the same one that I created a minute back. And within this, you can use the same wizard to click on this checkbox saying public static void main. By doing this, what will happen? It will by default create a main method for you. It will create a main method for you, right? Just 1 minute. Let me quickly mute everyone here. Okay. So you see, I click on finish. This creates a .java file. This creates a .java file, and this is my project. What I'll do is I'll try to quickly increase the font of the screen. You can increase the font by going to Windows, by going to Preferences, going to the section over here and search for font, and it says colors and fonts. So click on this, and you can go to basic, expand that, go down a little bit, and you can find text font or text editor, I think. Yeah, here. And you can just say edit and just give the font as like 14. Say okay. And also add the text font, edit, and I say 614. Okay. Apply. Okay. And apply and close. So I think this is readable for most of you guys. So this is my simple main method. I have nothing here. It's a simple comment. I will remove this comment. I told you that this main method is needed for the kicking off the program. So kickoff method. What is a method? We will talk about that in details later on. And now we will go on and try to write a simple program. Again, the same program. Let's try to write the same program with the help of Eclipse. It can help you with something called as Intellisense. It's called Intellisense. What is it? Intellisense. What is this meaning? It means if I just write system and if I just hit dot, it gives me multiple options to work out my next method or next line. Meaning I can just, if you know the command, you can say system.out dot print, and you can see there are multiple different printing options. They will be using print ln. Okay, print line. ln means print line, and I'm going to say let's try and run something. Hey, this is header. That's it. Okay, this is my simple Java project with a simple command to execute. How can I run it from Eclipse? It's very simple, meaning I can just right click on this particular file and just say run as Java application. If you don't have a main method in your Java, please understand this. If you don't have a main method in your Java class, you will never be able to see the option called as run as Java application. You will see run as Java application only and only if it has a main method. So I say Java application. I click on this and you can see in my console below, I get my output and it says the program has terminated, right? So I get my output there. This is a simple Java program. Now, I would like to make you understand that what exactly is happening in the background, okay? If I quickly take you to the project, week 1 summary. I can just go inside the project from Windows Explorer, and let me try and make you understand this, what's going on. So I'll say right click, and I'll just say show in System Explorer. If I open this up, it opens up this folder right here. So you see, I am inside Wisdom QA Feb 21, which is nothing but the Eclipse workspace. I have multiple different workspaces. This is the one that I created right now. So Wisdom QFF 21, inside that, I have a project called week 1, and there's another folder called .metadata. You don't have to really bother about it because Eclipse is creating that particular folder for its internal tracking. You don't really have to bother about it, okay? This is just a project that I created. It is just a normal folder, that's it. If I open this up, I will see multiple different folders again. One folder is called bin, other folder is called Src. There are two more stuff called .classpath and .project. Again, these two files are something that is used by Eclipse for its internal tracking. We don't have to break our head on it, right? So we will just ignore these two. Let's get concentrated on just the Src folder for now. So if you look at the left-hand side, you can see a Src folder. You can see a Src folder right here as well, meaning whatever you see on the left-hand side, you can see the same on the right-hand side, just that you don't see the bin folder in the left-hand side, and I will explain that in a minute. But if I open the Src folder, you can see there's another folder called Java test. But from Eclipse perspective, it is just a package. Okay, packages are nothing but a simple folder. From Windows perspective, it's a simple folder and nothing more than that. If I open that particular folder again, I see another file, which is my first program, and this is a Java file. If I open this up, I can certainly open this up, and it will be opening up just like that. It has just one extra line at the very beginning. It says that this particular file is under a package called as Java test. Okay, this particular line, you can also find it right here, and you don't have to write it. It is automatically be created for you. As soon as you write a class within a package, this line will be added to it. Okay, it is just trying to say that this particular class is residing inside a package called as Java test, and that's it. Now, if I take you back to the Windows Explorer again, that's the situation. Now, the question to me should be that when I ran the program using Java program, just like that, when I ran it, how exactly I was able to execute it, because I never performed any compilation inside Eclipse. I never performed any compilation inside Eclipse. If that's the case, then how I was able to execute this program successfully? How was that possible? It is possible because Eclipse is doing that conversation, that compilation for you. If I take you back to the same folder again, if I just go back to the same folder again, you have seen Src folder. If I open up the bin folder, you will see that it's a mirror image of Src folder. Whatever is there inside the Src folder is there inside the bin folder, and I see Java test as a package as well inside the bin folder. If I open this up, I see something else. I see not a .java file. I see a class file. How that was possible? It was possible because Eclipse did that for you. Eclipse converted the .java file to .class file as soon as you saved the Java file. As soon as you save the Java file, Eclipse automatically will kick in and it will simply compile the file for you into a class file. All the files, all the Java file will get converted to a class file, correct? So if I open this up now, it's again gibberish, but understandable by the machine. So that's the situation that I wanted to really show you. Also, as I was showing this particular diagram a minute back, but I said about library I said about jar, I said about package, and then I said about class. Right now I have just one class file, okay? So you understand .java file gets converted to a .class file, and then we just can create a whole library out of that by following this logic. Now, the question is, you know how to create a .class file, you know how to create a you know how to create a package, but you don't know yet how to create a .jar file. Creating a jar file is very, very simple. Very, very simple. How do you do that? Let's try to create one jar file. I'll just simply, okay, by the way, guys, you will see in this whole course of 4 months, a lot of things that happens in the, I have discussed in the videos, okay? You will see that I will obviously discuss them, and in the live class, I will add in few more stuff to make your understanding even better. So I absolutely want every one of you to be present in every live class that you're coming in, because this is really, really important for your understanding, also to learn something different than what is not shown to you in the video sessions or the recorded sessions. So now I'm going to show you how to convert this project to a .jar file. It's very simple. What I'll do is I'll just say, right click on this. I'll just say export. Okay. When I come to the export, it says you have Java, you click on this, and you have a jar file. You say .jar file, you select the jar file, and you say next. When you do that, it gives me some option saying, do you want to convert the whole project to a .jar file? I say yes. And then it says, what will be my location of my jar file? So let me just quickly create the jar file location. That'll be just under my project, which is Wisdom QA. And in here, I'm going to just say the file name would be week one. That's it. And that's pretty much about it. I'll say save. So week1.jar, that's all. And I'll just say finish. And I created my jar file there. Now, if I just take you back to the CMD again, that's my CMD. I'll just clear up my console and I'll say dir one more time, and you will see a .jar file, week1.jar file, right? Week1.jar file. We know the jar file got created out of a simple Java file, and then it is under a package, and that's it. Now I can simply run this jar file saying Java minus jar. Okay, and I can just say week one. Come on, man. Java minus jar, and then I can say week one. Enter. No main manifest in the week one jar. Why is that? Just a minute. Could not load the main class. Class not found exception. I did some mistake while getting this guy on. So I have a main file here. That's totally fine. I have a package. That's fine. And if I just create and export one more time, Java jar file, week one, export all generated classes, export all Java source files. Java source files, class path.project, that's fine. Week1.jar. Yeah, that should be it. Export class and then with comparison errors, that's fine. Next. Generate the manifest file, set the manifest file in the workspace. Okay, that's that using an existing management. Seal the jar, seal some packages. Okay, let me just try and here. I missed this guy. You have to actually say what is the entry point. Okay, I actually hit the finish directly. I should have come to this particular section where it says where is the entry point for this jar file. So I'm saying that's the entry point, right? And I'll say finish, and I'll say overwrite. Okay, and let's try and go back to this guy here. I'll say CLS, and that's the guy I'm trying to run. Just a minute. Java minus jar minus jar. That's it, right? Java, you have to, you can run the Java, jar file using the command Java space minus jar. Okay, and then you give the jar file name. And because I didn't add the entry point to it earlier, it was not able to run it. But you can just see that's how you create a jar file, and you can directly work it out. You don't have to work with the compilation or whatsoever, because obviously when a jar file is created, it is created out of a class file. It is not created out of a Java file, right? That's how it happens. Okay, everybody is clear until whatever I have shown so far, because that's the end of the class 1. Everybody's clear with that?
Tawik,
Yeah,
what
go
is
on.
the purpose of converting into jar file? What are we sort of achieving from this?
Okay, so you just see there in the library. What is a library? You have seen that as a library. You can, so JR is a library, or in future we will see we are adding multiple libraries. So you came to me because you wanted to learn automation. When I'm saying automation, we are going to import a library into our project. So Selenium WebDriver is coming to us as a library. A library means multiple jar files, and each and every jar file will have hundreds of .class files. That's how the program written by someone else can be executed by someone else. Make sense? You are creating a medium by converting your project to a jar file. You're creating a medium by giving your code base to someone else. For example, I added that particular jar file there. Okay. Now I'm thinking, I want to give this jar file directly to you. And what you will do, you will simply go ahead and you will simply open up a new project. For example, new Java project. That's a good question that you asked, by the way, Shref. Thanks a lot. So I'll just say new project, right? I'll keep everything same. I'll say finish. I'll say finish. And it says create module. I'll say don't create. That's good. So I got this new project here. I know that I have created a .jar file some time back. I want, so you are creating this project. I have given a jar file to you. So, and I've created some program within that particular jar file that you can use it out of the box. You can use it out of the box. For example, in this new project that you have created, I want to import the jar file. What can I do? I can just say right click on this. I say properties, and I'll go to Java build path. Anyways, whatever I'm showing you, we'll be doing this n number of times in the future. But because this question came up now, I want to explain that to you right now. And I'll say, go to Java build path. So from the project, again, I'll do it one more time. From the project, right click on it, say properties. In the properties, click on Java build path. And in the Java build path, you see libraries. So click on this. Under class path, you say add external jars. And I say, I want to add the week 1 jar that I created a minute back, which is in my folder inside this particular project. So that's how the library or the jar file, you can add it as a library, like Selenium WebDriver, it's coming to us as a library where there are hundreds of jar files together packed in, or you can individually add one particular jar file, like the way I'm doing it right now. I say apply and close. Now that's how I added the jar file. Now, if you see in this week 1 summary, in the week 1 summary, I have a class file called as myfirstprogram.java. Okay. Now this class file is not there anywhere in my new project. It's not there at all, because in the new project I just have an empty source folder. So let's do one thing. Let's create a new package here. Let's create a new package here. Say test me, and I'll say finish. That's it. In this, I go in, I say new, I say class, simple class, and I say some class. That's it. Okay, or some new Java, some Java program. Some Java program, right? With a main method, because I want to kick off my program from here again. So finish, that's fine. I have added, you see, now there's a difference. Look closely. Look at this closely. There's a difference. In week 1 summary, I just have, let me actually use my pointer so that things can be easily understandable. So look at this. In the week 1 summary, I have just this guy here. Just this guy here. Come on. Just this guy here, GRE system library. On the other hand, in the new project, I have 2 of these guys. One is the GRE system library, obviously. Along with that, I have another guy called as reference libraries. What is that? If I am opening this up, I just see week 1 jar file that I have just imported a minute back inside this project. Now that I have imported week 1 jar inside the new project, now I have an immediate access to this particular class. Meaning what? Meaning a program that I have created in my system, I can simply bundle it into a jar file and give it to you or anybody in the world, and they can simply leverage my program. You don't have to break on your head on to create the same program again. You know that I have created a program that can calculate the distance between 2 different planets. You give the names, okay? You say Earth and Mars, it gives you back with some kind of a result. That's the program that I have created. And I'm giving that program to you in a jar format, and you can then use it however you want to. So now you see, in this some Java program class, I can directly access my new, my first program, PROG, program. I'm doing some, I'm adding some text here, which is not going to make some sense to you because I'm trying to create a project. I'm trying to create an object of a class. It will not make sense to you, but just hang on there, okay? So I'll just say my program dot main, okay? Just say null there right now. I'm just trying to do something. I'm just saying my first program dot main. Why main? Because main is a method within my first program. And you see, my first program is never created in the new project, but still I'm able to use it. Why? Because I imported the jar file. And it is clearly telling me, you see, this line got simply added automatically saying import Java test.my first program, meaning what? Meaning this particular class is within a package called as Java test. Let's import this. So I imported that. That's the reason why I am able to access this guy. Now, if I go ahead and run this guy, it's a good question. It's a good question that you asked me, Shoaib, so that, you know, guys, this is the reason, right? Ask me questions. If you ask me a question, I can give you more. Ask me questions. So I'll just go ahead and run this. And it prints hi there. How? Because I am able to connect with the program that's within my jar file. Is it understandable to everyone?
Yes, it makes sense. But I think it will take some time to absorb this information because this is kind of new.
Okay, I mean, if you think about it, it's very simple, right? This is my simple project, which I converted to a jar file. Jar file I added to my second project, and I'm using whatever program I created in my previous project. I'm using them in my new project. That's it. It's a simple game of exporting and importing. That's it.
One question. So, with the JRE system library, the inbuilt libraries,
Yeah.
can you execute anything from there the way you've executed your
No.
imported jar?
That's not how it is, right? Because those are the libraries that's there to make to run your program. To run your actual Java program, you need those system libraries. You don't want to touch them at all.
Okay.
Okay.
It's basically converting your simple English to machine language. Is that what it does?
Yeah. Also, you see, just not that. Okay. Where exactly this is coming from? System dot out dot println. Okay. This simple line I'm writing for last 1 hour now, right? Where exactly this line? How I'm able to create this line? How? Because this is a part of my system library. You see, the system is coming from java.lang.system. Look at this. If I expand this library, I have java.lang. If you just go down, where are you, my friend? There must be a lang. Java dot okay, sorry, my bad. It is under the java dot where are you? Java.lang.system, right? Yeah, that is a package name ideally, right? There's a package name, java.lang, whatever is there in the front with lowercase, that's the package name. And system, which is a uppercase, that's a class name. That's a naming convention. All the package names is going to be written in lowercase. The system or the class name is written in the uppercase, in the initial uppercase. So I'm not really sure inside which jar file here. Can I search it? I'm not sure. Let me just try and say, can I search this guy? No, I cannot search this guy. I'm not sure where exactly java.lang.model. Yeah, there's a lang.system. So you see, this Java compiler is having this class called as, okay, this is Java X, Java base. Let me see Java. Yeah, here, I found it. You see, under Java base package, sorry, jar file, I have Java lang package. In the lang package, I have a class. There are hundreds of .class file, and inside this one of the class is a system class. System class here. See that? And this system class is having the implementation of out.println. Make sense? Is it making sense? That's how it is. So all the inbuilt methods that I'm able to use them. How am I able to use them? Because the system library, the Java inbuilt GRE library is having the access to all of them. That's why. So guys, I'm really happy. Shiv, I'm really happy that you're asking me questions. Guys, I'm really trying to hear more from you so that this class is interactable. As I said, you ask me question, I can give you more. Whoever has joined me first time today, like Debbie and Frey, what do you think? Are you guys able to understand my concepts the way I'm delivering it? How is it happening? Is it making sense to you guys? I really appreciate if you can come on audio and just give me understanding, please. Frey, do you mind?
Sorry, for me, everything is good.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thanks a lot. By the way, yeah, Frey, do you want to come on audio, please? Unmuting you. Just try to come in audio, please. No? I'm not sure why you're not coming into the, I'm not sure why, how it's not happening to you. Why you're not able to come to the audio, I'm not sure, but anyways. So that's that. Sorry, it's clear? Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Yes, it's clear for me, no problem. Yeah.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you. That's fine. Now, what do I do? Let me go to the next slide deck. All right. So in here, let me just go back up.
Sorry, teacher, can I
call me
make you a question, please?
call me Souvik. Teacher sounds a little bit off the grid for me.
Okay.
Just call me Souvik.
I don't know how to pronounce your name, that's why.
Just say Souvik. S-O-U-V-I-K.
Souvik,
Just
right?
say Souvik. Yeah, Souvik. That's
Okay.
fine. Yeah. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah.
Ask me a question.
About the YAR file. Yeah, about the YAR file. Can I run it? Can I transfer this file to another computer?
Yes.
And this computer, for example, doesn't have installed an ID, but yes, it has a JDK.
Yeah, you can. Obviously, you can. Yeah, why not? It's a .jar file, as I said, right? The way you run the jar file is Java space minus jar, and you can just give the jar file name, and that's it. That's how you run it. You can give the jar file just like that to your friend.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah. You can put that to a Google Drive or however you want to.
Okay, that was my question.
That's fine. Thank you. Okay, in the class 2, let's go on. Thank you.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Go on.
I just wanted to confirm one thing because I'm using a Linux machine.
Uh-huh.
And when we did I did the Java installation and configuration, just to be sure that I have it right. With the Java home, the environment variable, how do I confirm that I've done it right? That it
Okay, first and foremost, just go to your console or your command prompt and just say Java space minus version. Do you get a feedback out of it? Something like this.
Yes.
Then it's fine.
Okay. Thank you so much.
That's it. Good. So now we are trying to understand a little bit deeper. Okay. So Eclipse layout I have given to already. Creating a class with a main method, I have already done that for you. What is a class? We will talk about that in details later on. But for now, you have seen me creating a class with a main method. So that's that. Let me go to let's create a simple program to add numbers. So we will try to do that in a minute. But before that, we will try to understand this particular syntax. Public static void main. Okay, and then within that we are passing on some kind of an argument, string of array args, right? What is this exactly? So public static void main, as I said, it is a kickoff point. What I will do is kickoff point for the program. Okay, now the question is, what are these keywords for? Okay, public is nothing but it's an access specifier. What is access specifier? I'll talk about that in details later on. But for now, just try to understand. It is an access specifier, meaning it is just telling you that this particular main method can be called from anywhere within the project or outside of the project. It is obviously, I have already proved that to you. How? Because you see, in the week 1 summary, I created a program called my first program that was having the same public static void main. This public method, this public main method, I was able to call from a different project because I just simply imported or exported this particular week 1 summary into a particular jar file, added that jar file into a new project, and then I was able to still call this main method because in the main method up here, I say first main program, my first program dot main. I am able to access the main method because it is public in nature. I will talk about that in details right now. It's not the right time, but I will talk about that in details. But for now, just say it is access static. Static meaning, static is a long discussion. I cannot give it to you right now. But for now, just try to understand whichever method is having a keyword called static, those methods can be accessed directly with the help of the class name and then a dot and the method name. You see the format? The format is the class name, then you use a dot operator, and then the method name. Okay, because the method is static, is having a static keyword, I am able to do this. But it is not the full explanation. I'll give you the full explanation when the right time comes. Okay, just bear with me. That is the static keyword. Void means what? Void means this main method or any method that has void will not return back any value. You see, this main method is executing something. It is executing this simple program, but it is not returning back any value. You can return something from a method by using a keyword called as a return keyword. You can say return, and you can say maybe you want to return some string. So say wisdom QA, right? That's a string that you want to return back. This guy is absolutely possible, but because this main method is void in nature, you can see I'm getting some error now. I'm getting some error here. Return, and there's a red line. You can see something. It says void methods cannot return a value. It clearly says that. This is why Eclipse is needed, because it can give you feedbacks. It can help you with the debugging capabilities. It can help you with Intellisense. It can make your life much, much, much easier by creating a folder structure for you, right? So that's why Eclipse or any kind of editor is very, very essential for us. So you can see that because the method is void in nature, I cannot write this line, return something. Okay, so return statement. This is, I'll just say dot operator. I'll just see the dot. Okay, I'll not write anything else here for now. No return, no return. Okay, and then I have the name of the method called main method. Okay, that's the name of the method called main method. And then you have a string of arguments. Okay, the point is there is just one access point for a program or for a project. We are going to create a situation where we will have just one access point for the project. Now, if you want, you can create another main method, and this particular class will not complain me. Okay, I can say public static void main, and I am not giving any parameters. Like we have a parameter over here. What is parameter? We will talk about that. But whatever the parameters over here, I don't give it here, right? That's the reason you can see this main and this main is coexisting in the same class, in the same place. But when you run the program, this particular program, when you run it, your program will always be running out of this guy here. It will be running always out of this main method. Why? Because JVM is responsible for that. JVM is looking for a main method that is having an exact same signature. This structure or this combination in programming world, we call it as a signature. This is the signature of the main method. Public static void main. That's a signature. Okay. So you see this signature. Yeah, go on.
Is the signature what's inside the brackets, as in the parameters, or is the signature the whole statement?
I would say the whole statement.
Right. Okay.
Just not the parameter. You can say that's the whole signature of your main method, saying that public static void main, and then with the help there is a parameter, or you don't have parameters, or you have different groups of parameters, whatever.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Okay. So that's that. And just a minute, let me just try and see something. Okay. All right. So that's that. Now, you can see these two guys are coexisting. Why it is coexisting? That's a different concept. It's called polymorphism. I'll talk about that in a minute. But this is JVM is looking for this particular main method with a particular signature, and then that's how it runs. Okay, that's done. Now, let's go on to the next section. I also talk about this particular section or the signature, which is string of array args. I'll come to that in a minute. Okay, let me go to some other situations. I say Java packages and sub packages. Okay, so what is Java packages? Java packages are nothing but it's a, as I showed you already, it's a folder, and it exactly works like a folder. It means, think about it, like I can create another folder package here, and I can say test me 2. I can do that. Okay, so you can see test me and test me 2 are two different folders that can have same files, right? And nobody will complain, right? Because they are two different, they're same file in two different packages, and they can coexist. Obviously, there is no problem in that. No problem in that. It's exactly the way it works in a normal Windows, right? You can create a package within a package. Like you can create subfolders. Similarly, you can create sub packages. So if you look at this guy, system is java.lang.system, meaning what? There is a Java package. Inside that, there's a lang package. Inside that, there's a class called system class. Correct? So now what I'll do is I'll say new package. Okay, and inside the test me package, I'm creating a new package called as Java test. Finish. So you see, I created a Java test package, which is under test me, and I can keep this file again there as well. And there is no problem. It's just that this location, this particular file that I have here, some Java program, is under the package, which is testme.java-test. Okay, .java test meaning you are just going one level down. It's a package within a package. That's it. Okay, Shoaib, is it making sense to you so far? Whatever I just said in terms of package. Okay, good. Normal folder structure, nothing more than that. I'll quickly go to the next situation. Okay, there is this guy here. You will see many times we use a star. Okay, import java util.star, meaning what? Meaning under util package, Java util package, whatever classes are there, okay, we are trying to import all of them. Why is that needed? Because probably you want to work with system class, not system class, I mean, whatever you want to work with multiple classes which are there under the util package. So if you look at the util package, I can say package, I can say import, not package, but I can say import. Import java dot util dot star. Okay, this guy, oh my god, I just said util unit. It is java.util. Okay, now you see java.util. If I just go dot one more time, inside that I have another package called as concurrent, and concurrent atomic concurrent locks function. So many guys, probably it is looking very confusing, but you don't really have to bother about it, because when you are going to use it, your package information will be automatically imported, and you don't have to learn. I mean, I don't know all of them. You don't have to know all of them. There are thousands and hundreds and thousands of packages. Whatever is relevant for us in terms of test automation, we will be going through them. We will be using them religiously, but not everything is needed. Okay, so java.util say .zip, okay, .zip inside zip, there are so many different classes. You can see that, right? Maybe this guy is being used to zip the files. Something I have never used it. I have to read the documentation of it to figure it out how to work with it. Okay, but I never wanted to use it. I never needed to use it, right? So I don't use it. So anyways, that's how you work on it. So you can just say java.util.star, meaning you want to actually, you're trying to import everything. You want to import. Sorry?
That means all the classes inside that. So as per requirement of the program, we need to write it at the beginning of the program. Import Java.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. You don't really have to write this statement, because when you are doing, suppose I want to create a class, for example. Let me just do this. I'll just say, for example, system dot. Okay, let me just remove them. No. Okay, yeah, let me do this. Let me just remove this guy. Okay, let me remove this guy. If I remove this guy, this line is immediately giving me a situation saying my first program cannot be resolved, and it is giving me some quick fixes. The first thing it says, import my first program, and you just click on it so that it gets added. You don't have to write it, because if you're trying to work you're trying to use some class and the class is not already imported in your class,
sorry, we are not able to hear you. Hello.
that I'm not able to find it. Please import it. The class accessible. Hello, tell me. Can you hear me? Hello?
You just cut out for a few seconds there, Civic.
Yeah,
okay.
You're telling something and you are not.
Okay. I'll repeat that. So what I'm saying is, for example, you see, I removed that import statement. If I am hovering my mouse on top of my first program, you see it is giving me the error saying my first program cannot be resolved, and it's giving me some quick fixes saying that import my first program. It is giving me a suggestion to import that program so that I can use it. Similarly, when you start working with a particular class, and if that class is not imported, then it will give you the error saying you need to import it, and that's where you import it, right? Is that clear now? Hello?
It's clear, Civic, but could you use an example, say for, I know it's a bit early, but say you're working with the string class, and just to show how why you would import util.
So I can use string, and string is not the right. String is basically a Java data type. That will not be the right case. Maybe I can use file input system, file. I'm just writing some line there, and which will probably not make sense to you much, but let's try and write this program. So we use this class to deal with raw files. I say file equals new file, and you just give the location of the file, and you just see that it gives me the error saying file cannot be resolved to a type, and this file is not something that I have implemented. This file class is not something that I have implemented. It is coming out of the box with JRE library, right? And you can see import file. It's coming from java.io package. So if I just click on this, that gets added right there, right? And that's where now I can get out of that particular error. And now I can use this file object to interact with a raw file directly. Is that making sense now? Is that clear to everyone? Give me a shout, please.
Yes.
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 Okay, perfect, perfect. So that's that. Let me go to the next slide. All right. So variables and constants. What is a variable? Well, variable is basically a structure using which you can store a value in the memory. When your program is running, you want to store some value in the memory. So you can see that I have spoken about the variable, different type of variable types that we have. For example, I have a variable over here, which is going to store integers. So it is going to follow a particular structure, meaning it says, I have to say it is a data type. It has a data type, which is int. The name of the variable I have to provide called number, and then I have to give a value, meaning what? Meaning in the Java memory, we are creating a simple file. Maybe I'll just draw it for you. A simple location, okay? A simple location, a location that is having a particular size depending on what type of variable you're trying to store there. So I say int. So I say int. Int is a type. Int is a type. And the number, the name of the variable is called number. Number. And the value that I have inside this particular variable is called 10. So int is a type. So you're saying I want to store numbers, and the variable name is number, and the value I'm giving is 10. That's what basically a variable is. You're just trying to create a memory block, a very little memory block inside which you're going to store some values. Okay, that's a memory. That's a number. And then variable also means that this value that you have 10 can also be replaced by 35 or something similar, or a different number. That is basically a variable. On the other hand, constant means, again, you're creating a memory block, but because I added another keyword saying final, that makes that variable becomes, holds a value constantly forever, unless at the offline you're changing it. But when it's running it, whatever the value you set with the variable, the value of the pi is 3.14, it will be always 3.14 when you run the program. That's the difference between a variable or a constant, but they are both holding a memory space in the Java memory, or the memory where the program is actually running, and you're just using them. One you can change it, other one you cannot change it. We will talk about variables in detail later on, but that's the difference with the variable and constants. Let's go to the next slide, where I go and I say talk about data types. I have explained this in detail in the video, but I'll just quickly go through it. We have a little bit less time today, and I have to cover a few more stuff. So I say primitive and non-primitive. Okay, guys, I can tell you something that is, you see, we can spend more time in discussing something, even better if we all agree to be present in the class exactly at 10 o'clock. Okay, try to pile up. I'm trying to join the session little 5 minutes earlier. Okay, try to target that so that I can get started exactly at 10:05, and we will have solid 3 hours or 2.5 hours to go through the entire week content. But if we start like 30 minutes late, then it'll be a problem for us to cover up everything. Anyways, so data types, right? Data types, we have primitive and non-primitive. Okay, primitive meaning when the Java language was initially created, okay, it came out of the box, or it was built out of the box with certain data types, meaning integer, decimal, character, Boolean. These are different data type, primitive type categories that I can talk about. You can see within the integer itself, that is just to store numbers, okay? We have byte, short, int, long. There are 4 different primitive data types just to store numbers. And then we have decimal, we have float and double to store numbers again, decimal numbers. We have character and then Boolean. This whole chunk of information that I'm talking about here is all based on the primitive data type concept, where we are getting access to all these different type of variables, right? Data types, right? And how are they different? Why do I have 4 different data types just to store numbers? Why is that? Because it all boils down to the memory. Meaning, if I want to store a human age, there is no point in storing a variable with int data type. We can easily go on with byte. Why is that? Because byte is having a range between, I think, -128 to +127. That is the range for byte data type, meaning you can easily store a human age within it, because a human age can be what, 100, 110, 105. That's what I have heard so far. It cannot be 127. Never heard anybody alive above 115 or 16 or 110, maybe, I think. Right? I can store a human age within this range. So you see, I am able to store. I can judge my requirement, and then I can use the data type to store my data. That's why I have 4 different data types just to store integers. Similarly, if we have float and double, okay, again boils down to the memory range. Okay, I have given the range, and I have explained this in the video. Please go on and watch it and ask me questions if you have in the Slack or in the next class, whatever works for you. But ask me the questions, but I don't want to really spend too much time on this. I'll quickly clear this section, and I will just quickly show you the structure here. You see, I have the data type. I have primitive and non-primitive. In the primitive, I have Boolean and numeric. In the numeric, I have character and integral. In the integral, I have integers and floating points. And there I have character and then char, and then Boolean, I have Boolean, right? So you see, Boolean meaning nothing but it can store only 2 things, a true or a false. Character means you can store a single character, meaning if you want to create a character data type, you will just say something like this. You will just say char, just give a name, say name, and or just say val. You can give any name to the character data type, val, and then equals to, and then within single quotes you can give the character. It could be a capital or a lowercase, whatever, but that's your character that you're creating, okay, within single quotes. That's your character data type. Then you have Boolean, where you can just say Boolean. I'm not going to the Eclipse now. It's just pretty simple. So Boolean, you can give the name of the value called status, and you can say the value is true or false, whatever. True or false, whatever. Correct? That's your Boolean, right? Similarly, you have integers, you have floating points, you have all those stuff. I have discussed them in details in the video, go through it. At the same time, we have also non-primitive data type. Okay, non-primitive data type is, you can say that these are basically Java classes. These are Java classes, which is using primitive data type features, and then it is created with some advanced concept. Like with string, you can use it, and you can have a lot more feature than a character. Okay. In array, you can create a lot more feature. You can use a lot more feature than a simple number, right? That's why a non-primitive data type comes in with some additional feature to the primitive data type. Correct? That's the database types tree structure that I want to cover. If you have a question, just shout me there. Otherwise, I'll quickly go to the next slide. Okay, here you see I spoke about the data type ranges. Why so many data types? You see, every one of them there's a range. For byte, there's a range. Minus 128 to 127. For character, there is a range. Okay, everybody is having a range. Okay, can I get some questions now? Yeah.
Yes, I just have this question. Like we have the primitive data type Boolean, and then we have the non-primitive Boolean with the big capital
Yeah,
B.
yeah.
What the difference is, because I've also seen that with, for example, double. We have a small letter double with small.
Yeah,
Small
that's a good question. You see, all the guys that be with a capital letter, okay, B, you are talking about non-primitive data type there. Those are the guys that can be used along with some other non-primitive entities, meaning, for example, I'm just giving you an example. Probably not make sense because I want to answer this question, so I'm just going on with it. So let's talk about the Boolean because you asked me the question. So Boolean status equals true, for example. That's great. Now this is my non-primitive data type. Totally fine. You can go ahead and you can create an object. You can create another variable called as Boolean with this data type called Boolean with a capital B, and it says status 2 equals true. And that is also acceptable. Both of them can be used. But the question is why they are and how they are different. Just a minute, let me check something. I have no question at the moment. That's fine. Thank you, Frey. How they are different. So the point is, with this Boolean guy, you cannot use them along with some non-primitive entities, meaning list. List is a non-primitive entity which can help you to store multiple values in one place. So I cannot say a list of Boolean, say statuses equals new array list. Whatever I'm writing probably will not make sense because I have not discussed about this structure yet. You can see something. It says list status is array list. I'm just trying to create a simple object called as list, and I'm getting an error right there saying insert dimensions to complete the reference type. Ideally, it is trying to say that this guy over here, the primitive Boolean, is not something that can be accessed over here. Okay, what can be accessed here is Boolean as a primitive, non-primitive data type. So to make your life easy, to make it very easily understandable, you can think about you can always go ahead and add or use a non-primitive data type along with a non-primitive entity, but a primitive entity cannot be added to a non-primitive entity or used under a non-primitive entity. What I'm trying to do here is this. Ideally, I'm trying to create a list of, let me just try to draw this for you so that it'll make sense. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to just create a list of Booleans, meaning I'm trying to create a list of trues and false, true, true, false. Okay. So I'm just trying to create a list of true, false, something like this. Okay, which is the one that I was trying to create there. Okay, it can store multiple true and falses. Maybe it's just storing some status values. Okay, I cannot do that with the help of a primitive data type. Ideally, very simply, you should understand a primitive data type cannot be hooked with a non-primitive entity. Okay, that's the reason why we have non-primitive entities to work along with non-primitive entities. Yeah, is that making sense? No?
Yes, thank you so much.
Good. All right. Ask me questions, guys. More and more questions will help it.
Just
yeah.
one question on the float and double.
Yeah.
Can you explain the difference between the 32-bit and 64-bit? What relevance does it have?
32-bit and 64-bit is just a size, right? I mean, if you look at, yeah, just a size. I can just prove that to you. For example, I have a float. And I say some name, nums, and I say float, and I give some value, 3.14 f. Right? You know that if you work with a float, you got to add a f at the end as a suffix. That's fine. Let's try to add in the value to it. Sorry, not this, but wait a minute. Why it is not throwing me there? Wait a minute. It should throw me the error. 3.14. 3.14f. Right? My bad, I think, to add it here. It has a range. Just a minute. That's weird. The float is here, 32-bit, 754 floating point, 32 bits, right? Yeah, this should definitely throw me the error. Why you are not throwing me the error? Wow. No, that is weird. Just a minute. Double. Let me try with the double. What am I doing wrong? I'm doing something very silly. Hold on. I'm doing something very silly here. Just a minute. Float num equals f. See? Yeah. No, I'll just get back to you on this. I'm not sure why it is not throwing me the error. It should throw me the error.
Okay.
Because I'm going beyond the range. Like you see that byte is a data type, and I say num, and I say anything beyond 127. So you see 127, it's good. It can store it, but as soon as I go 128, it throws me the error saying cannot convert int to byte because it's considering it as an int, right? It's considered as an int because I just went one step ahead of it. Okay. So that will not work out. It's giving me an error. But for float and double as well, that should happen. It's not happening. I'm not sure. I'll just come back to you in a minute. I'll just come back to you in the next class and explain this to you a little bit better.
Okay. So is
Anyway,
it the number? It's the number of characters, is it? So you'd expect.
Yeah, it all depends on the range. You
Okay.
see, if you look at the range, saying the range was minus 128 to 127. So that's why when I said 128, it gave me the error, right?
Yeah.
Or here for short, it is 32767. So you should say short.
Yeah. Okay.
Short num 322767, and that's allowed. That's allowed. I go 768, and I get an error right there.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Because that's the range it follows, and then
Yeah.
that exact same thing should happen with the float. I'm not sure why it's not happening.
Yeah, I understand. I understand those ones because of the range it gives. It's quite easy to see. Yeah, that's over or less than it. But with the 32-bit and 64-bit, how do you measure that? Can you measure that, or do you have?
Even these guys, they are 16 bits.
I see that, but beside it, there's a range that I can logically understand in my head. I can know, okay, if I write 129, that's going to be wrong for the byte.
Correct.
For the float, I don't. I'm trying to logically understand it in my head. Is it something I can logically understand, or do I have to type it and get an error before I realize the float is too big?
I will mark this question. I'll come back to you with the right answer. Okay.
Okay. Great.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thank you. That's fine. So I think that's that. Okay, now let me try to talk about operators. Again, it's very well described in the video. Operators are basically, there are a lot of different type of operators we have. We have arithmetical operators, relational operators, logical, pre and postfix, assignments, and ternary operator. These operators are needed so that you can perform different kind of operations with the help of your variables, right? So for example, arithmetic operator. Okay, what I'm trying to do here, I can say I have a main method and I have int a, b, and I'm trying to get the result. You can see that I can just simply perform these operations: a minus b, a multiplied by b, a divided by b, a modulus b. What is a modulus? Anybody who wants to probably explain me? Anisha, do you want to try that? What is a modulus? Operator can be used for? How can we use this modulus operator? Anisha, are you there?
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not recollecting. This is long back.
Oh, okay, that's fine. So modulus operator is very simple. What we try to do is we're trying to multiply, division, everything is very understandable. I'm not going to go with that, but then for the modulus operator, what we're trying to do is we're just simply trying to perform a division. So for example, I have 5. I have 5 here. That is something that I want to divide it by 2. Okay, 2 times 2 is 4, and 5 minus 4 is 1. That is my result for my modulus operator. It is basically giving you the remainder. Okay, it's basically giving you the remainder. You divide it and you get the remainder. If it's not a whole number, I mean, if the remainder is not, if the remainder is 0, then obviously it is fully divisible. If it's not, then you get the remainder, and that's the situation. That's the modulus operator. Will do it for you. Okay, so I have spoken about addition. What am I doing here, guys? You can look at it. I have 2 values, 10 and 5, and I'm using a third variable called result, and I'm simply adding the value a plus b here, which is giving the value as 15, and then I can simply print the statement. Okay, addition of a and b will give me the value as a result over here, right? That's the result that I'm getting here. Similarly, I do minus, plus, division, and modulus, right? That's how it works. Okay, so that's the arithmetic operators. Do you have any questions with the arithmetic operators? I'll go a little fast now because this is very simple stuff. So let me know if you have any questions.
I think we can practice this, and if you have any queries, you can ask me in the next class, because these are very straightforward.
These are straightforward questions. They're straightforward stuff. You can ask me the question. I would really prefer you to ask me questions in the weekdays more, because that's the time you're learning. Don't no, I mean, I'm asking this because I want you to come to the live class with the questions in mind already. Okay, so please work hard in the weekdays. I know you have to go beyond your current schedule of your work, but this is one time activity that you got to do it. You have to, if you want to learn automation or programming in general, you know, so please do that. So arithmetic operator, I just explained that. If you have a question, please put me in the chat here in the Zoom or in the Slack, and we'll happy to answer you there. Okay, let's go to the next part, which is my relational operator. What is this doing? It just says, it just gives you back with true or false. I'll go with that. I'll just quickly go to the Eclipse and I'll work it on. I'll work on this particular situation. So I'll just say, for example, int num a equals 25 and int num b equals 35. Simple. If I want to get to understand the relation between these two guys, I want to know whether num a is equals to num b or not. I want to know whether they are same or not. How can I do that? I can just simply do that with the help of a Boolean variable. Okay, I'll say status or a result equals, okay, and here I am going to say something within the brackets. I'm going to say something. I'm going to say num a double equals num b. What exactly I'm trying to do? I'm trying to understand if num a is equals to num b double equals. There is something that you are seeing here, which is probably not you have seen earlier. So there's a difference between this double equals and the single equals. Who can explain me this? Avril, do you want to try? What exactly I'm trying to do in line number 13?
So wait, can I try?
Yeah, go on. Anisha, you can try as well, no problem.
So it's trying to compare between int num a and num b, like the value which is stored there, that is 25 or 35, and if you execute this, I think we'll get result false.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. So is there just trying to compare these two, whether these two values are equal or they are not equal? That is the arithmetic operator, I think, which you are using here.
Correct. Not arithmetic operator.
Sorry,
This
relational. Sorry, yeah, relational.
And what is the first equals to doing there? What is this guy doing here?
It's an assignment operator, so it's going to put the result, the answer of the evaluation into the result.
Exactly, that's it. So within the bracket, I am computing, trying to figure out the result, whether it's a true or not. If it is true or not, I get the result added to this particular variable. That's it. And that's how this single equals and double equals can stay in the same line. Okay.
So Souvik, once you execute this, what will be displayed? Result equal to false.
Okay, what will be displayed, guys? At this moment, whatever the situation, the code is. Kevin, if you want to try, what will I get right now if I execute this?
If you execute the num a equals num b.
No. This particular if this whole main method, if I execute right now, what will I get out of it?
So the result is equal to 25 plus 35, 60.
Where am I adding?
Oh no, okay, sorry, yeah.
Topic, will it be only
You're
false?
comparing the two
Or be
variables.
false,
So
yeah,
that is
exactly.
false.
Yeah. Result, if you output the result, it will be false.
Think again and tell me what will be the result if I am running this program. What will I get in my console?
Nothing.
Yeah, you won't get anything.
Exactly. I will not get anything because
We are printing.
I'm not printing. Exactly.
Oh, okay, yeah, I understood. Yeah, thank you very much.
I'm not printing anything.
Yes.
It's just sorry, this guy here, my first program. If I just run this, I'm not printing anything. I'm not getting anything out of it. But if I just print out sys out, if I just print out result, then I get the value as false, right? That's the relational operator. I can just work it the same thing. I can work it out with. So basically, you understand, relational operator basically gives you back with a status or a true or a false, and that's pretty much about it. And I say, right, if I say something like this, it says num A is greater than equals to num B. Is it or not? It is not in this situation. Is it less than equals to num A or num B? Yes, it is. So if I run this, then it is equals to, and I get true there. Okay. Or if it is not equals to num A not equals to num B, it is not equals to num B, I obviously get the value as true. So basically, relational operator will give you nothing but a status of your operation, whether it is true or a false. You get the value back as a Boolean always, right? Good stuff. All right, so that is that. Now I will quickly go to the next one. So I don't want to spend time on this, guys. Please watch the video. Come with, yeah. Go on.
Question. Why in this example have you Boolean results set to false here at the top? Is it necessary?
That's a good question. So the point is, it is always a good practice to give an initial value to your variable that you're creating. For example, I have, for example, I'm just going to take out, I'll copy this section. I'll comment this out and I'll just say something like this. And I'll just say, that's it. Nothing more than that. Boolean equals result. Okay, Boolean result. And as soon as I do that, okay, you see my compiler means my Eclipse, ideally, it is complaining me, saying local variable may not have been initialized. You're not giving an initial value. So it is always a best practice for you to provide an initial value to the variable that you're trying to create. You understand? Instead of just declaring it, it's always a good practice to give an initial value. So when I said, and it is always a good practice to give a false value or a negative value to a Boolean variable, and then you set it to true. You understand? It is always a best practice. That's the reason why I added that guy there.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
What about what about like an example of a template class where you define the variables without any initialization, and then you create an object with them and you give them the character?
Which one? Sorry, go on one more time.
I think it was an example of the cars where you like created the initial class with it was like a template of cars, and then you created the different objects of types of cars, but in the initial class, the variables weren't initialized.
Is it here or in the where did I do it?
Maybe it's in class. I think it was in the class 4. Maybe so. We'll come to that. But I was. It's just
when it comes that I'll just explain it because I'm not able to remember that section yet. Okay,
yeah,
I'll just answer it. Just remind me there. Okay, good. Perfect. So what do I have more? I have more stuff like relational operator. I have things like logical operator. Okay, logical operator is again a little bit different than relational operator, meaning it just gives me back with so it helps me to evaluate multiple different combination of relations. So you can see that I was able to figure out whether this combination and this combination both is resulting to true or false. And I was able to do that with the help of my logical operator of this and or operators. I was able to do that with the help of my and or operator, because now with the help of and or operator, I am now allowed to perform multiple different, now I'm able to evaluate multiple different combination of relational operators, right? So at the end of the day, it is again giving me back with a false, but now I'm able to compare two different sections with the help of my logical operator, which is my and eventually getting the result again in form of a Boolean. Is that making sense? This is logical operators, and an or. I'm not hearing from Abe or Agatha. Are you guys all okay? Abe, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay today. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. All right, good. So, sorry. So that's how the logical operator works. Okay, I'm getting some questions. Is it all good? Makes sense. Perfect. That's good. All right. Now let me quickly go down to the next one. Okay, pre and post fix operator. A lot of people gets confused with this guy. Pre and post fix operator. What are these guys? So it is helping me to self increment the value of a variable. Self increment, meaning what? Meaning, let me just go back here. So I have num a. That's a variable. I can increment the value of num a something like this. I can say num a equals num a plus 5, meaning what? I can add 5 to the variable num a, and then once I added that value, I'm reassigning it to the variable again. I'm reassigning it to the variable again. I added that and I'm reassigning it to the variable again. So I'm incrementing the value of num a by itself by adding 5 to it. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Now it can be done in multiple ways, right? The one I'm trying to show you here is basically pre and post fix operators. Okay, pre and post fix operators. Now what are these guys doing? So prefix and postfix, meaning I'm going to quickly add this. So num, okay, by the way, num equals to num plus 5. It can also be written something like this: num a plus equal 5. This is exactly the same thing that we are doing in line number 20. Num a plus equals 5 is also meaning that you're self-incrementing the variable by 5. Now I'm going to add a prefix operator. Okay, meaning I will write something called as num. I will add a prefix operator. I'll say, sorry, postfix. I'll say sysout. let me print this out. Sysout, num. Let me print the value of num first. Okay. Num a, not num a. Okay. And then I'll say sysout num a plus plus. Okay. And then I'm going to say again sysout num a. Right. So num a will have a value which will be, so 25 plus 5, 30, 35 is what I will get here in line number 26. That's fine. Now, when I'm saying num a plus plus, plus plus meaning nothing but adding 1 to the original variable value. Okay. So if I just say it here.
Incrementing it by one number, right?
Yeah. Okay. Plus means plus means increment by 1. By 1. Now the point is that I say num a plus plus. I say num a plus plus, meaning what? Meaning I am going to increment the value by 1, but it is a postfix operator. So I'm expecting the value over here in line number 29 as 36. And the same value I'm expecting in line number 31, 36. But let's run this program and see if we get the value there as 36 or not. I get the value as 35 instead of 36. Why is that? It is because that it is a postfix operator, meaning when this line is getting executed, first the whole line gets executed, then in the memory, the value gets incremented, which is why you see the value as 36 in the line number 31, but not in line number 29, because the postfix operator will increment the value after the whole line gets executed. On the other hand, if I just change this back to plus num a, I will first increment it, then print it. So first increment and then print it. So 36, 36 both. Make sense to everyone? Yes,
Yeah.
no?
Yes. A quick question, Souvik. So if you were doing postfix num a plus plus, and had you not printed the line number 31, you would have still got as 35 and not 36.
Okay, I have to somehow print it somewhere, right? So for example, if I just say this, if I just say, just right there, I say num plus plus, that's it, right? Num a plus plus, num a plus plus. If I just say that, what will be the result? Obviously 35, I will get 36 over here because it will increment 36 over here. This guy will be incremented again to 37. So in line number 31, I will get 37. Line number 33, I will get 37 again. So let's run this piece. And that's it, right?
35, 37, yeah, 36, 37. Yeah.
Because I got 37 right here created, 36 created here. It was 35 here, it got 36 here, it got 37 here, and then same value over here. So 37. Make sense?
Thank you.
Good.
And when you use the plus equals 2,
yeah, you're incrementing it by 2 then.
Yeah, and why does that evaluate as a prefix even though it can only be declared as a postfix?
Just a minute, let me just try that out. You're saying this. So if I do something like this, is it num a plus equals 5 plus equals 2, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, let me try this out. I have not actually tried this out. Let me just try this out. Java application. And yeah, you're right. Yeah, there is no way you can add it in the postfix level. It means that it's a prefix. It means that's a good question, Neville. I'll take a look into it more on this. But yeah, that's a good question. I've never tried this particular portion. That's a good question.
It kind of confused me because I expected it to be the same as the plus or version.
But I cannot really add something like this, right? I mean, I cannot say 2 equal plus num a. I cannot do something like this, which will say prefix, right?
Yeah.
So I think by default, when I'm just using plus equal to 2, by default it is getting considered as a prefix, and that's why it is creating it. But I will look into it. That's a good question. I'll look into it.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right. So let's go on to the next level. Assignment operator. I will not talk about this. Is very simple. As I said, a plus equals to, okay, hold on. A plus equals to b, right? So you see here I say a plus equals to b, so meaning so this is exactly meaning this, right? Because this is exactly meaning I'm performing a equals to a plus b. That is what it is meaning. So a equals a plus b means a plus equals b. That is exactly what it is meaning. So from your above question, previous question, Errol, when we say a equals a plus b, and then we run the, okay, let me just try out something, because that question came into my mind. I'm just getting distracted. Hold on. I'm just saying, if I say num a equals num a plus b, can we do that here? I cannot num a plus 20. Yeah, I can do that here as well. And I can go ahead and run this guy, which is going to give me 58. Yes, that's the same thing. It is basically getting considered as a prefix operator. But I'll look into it. Why is that? Anyways, sorry. Let me go back. Okay, so assignment operators, what I'm saying here is a plus equals b, meaning you are adding b to the a. A plus equals b means a equals a plus b. Again, a minus equals b means a equals a minus b. Same thing for others, right? That's how you work with assignment operators. Assignment operators also means just equals to. A equals to 5 or b equals to 6. Even that means assignment operator. Okay. Anyway, so let me quickly go down to the last one, which is called ternary operator. Ternary operator is another situation which is basically depending on some conditions, meaning I have some condition over here. Let me clear this drawing. It says int a equals 5 and b equals 6, and there's a result. And I'm saying if a is equals to b, then this will give me a true or a false. If it is a true, then I get the value as 10 as a result, or I get the value as 6 as a result. That's a ternary operator. Meaning, if I want to show you a ternary operator with the help of a conditional operator situation, meaning I have int a equals 5, 6, for example, and I have int b equals 7 or 8, and if I say if I'm using a command here, or a keyword here called if, right? If a is less than, or if a is less than b, then int result equals 20, int result equals to 0 for now, right now. Okay, so okay, I have another variable, result 2 equals 0. So I'll say if a is less than b, then result 2 is equals to a, meaning if a is less than b, then result 2 will have the value of a, which is 6, else result 2 will have the value of b. I can do that, no problem with that. Okay, and if I print the value, then I say result 2. That's good, right? And if I run this now, I get the value as 6 because obviously a is less than b, and result 2 printed the value 6, which is totally fine. However, I can run this whole piece in a one line with the help of ternary operator. How is that? I can say something like this. I can say result 2 equals, and then within the bracket, I can say if a less than b, then question mark, meaning then I can get the value as a, or I can get the value as b. You understand that? No bracket. You understand that? If the a is less than b, then I get the value as a, then result will get the value as a, or it will get the value as b. So the whole if statement over here, I wrote in one line, and that's pretty much about it. And then I go and run this, I get the same result, obviously. 6 again, correct? That's the ternary operator. Multiple ways to write different things. It's just one line. It is sometimes it is very convenient, right? So yeah, that's that.
Would it be considered, Suvik, would it be considered bad practice to use if else instead of a ternary statement?
No, absolutely not. It is it's just your preference.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Because in if else, right? In if else, you can actually add in multiple if else block, right? You can use like n number of if else block. You have else, right? And you can say else if. You can add a else. I'll come to that in an else if, and then you can say if b is greater than a, then you want to do something, and you can add another else if, and you can chain them together, right? However, in ternary operator, that's not the case, because here we're just dealing with only one situation. If it is a less than b, then give me this or this. That's it. So I think it's just the preference boils down to the preference, nothing more than that. Okay, so now let's go on, not here, but to the situation where we are talking about arrays. Okay, arrays, there are 3 ways we can declare an array. Array is what? Array, I have discussed this. Array is basically a situation where you can store multiple values together in one single variable. Earlier we were saying only one value added to the variable. Okay. However, in the arrays, we can add multiple values added to the variable. Okay. So how can we create one array? It is very simple. Again, I can just say int of array, and you can say nums and equals to new int of 5, for example. Meaning what? Meaning I have created an empty block, 5 blocks, to store some values. Okay. Earlier, we were just creating a simple variable where I'm storing one value at a time, but here I'm storing multiple values at a time using the int. Now, the point is, if I want to perform a debugging, I would like to introduce you debugging right now so that you can start using it. It should become your habit, right? So I'll do something. I'll put a sysout here. Sysout is nothing but a shortcut for writing the statement system.out.println. So you can just use syso in your Eclipse and say control and space together. that brings out the statement for you. Now, once you have this here, I can put a breakpoint in line number 52 with the help of this mouse. Double click on it. I get this 53 line having a debug breakpoint. Okay. The idea is when I run my program in a debug mode, the idea is it should bring me back. It should stop my execution, not stop, but it will pause my execution. So how can I run it in the debug mode? I'll say debug as Java application. It is asking you whether you want to switch into the debug perspective or not for Eclipse. Say no. Click on this remember my decision checkbox and say no. Okay. And you come and pause your execution in line number 53. That's why it says this is green. Now we can do some debugging activities. Okay. I mean, stopping here or pausing yourself in line number 53, it means debugging, obviously, but you can go further, meaning debugging, meaning you want to inspect multiple different components of a program. For example, I want to right now inspect nums variable. So how can I do that? I can do it in two ways. Number one, I can put my mouse on top of the nums variable, and I'm seeing something. I'm seeing that it's a box and it has 5 zeros. Why it is zeros? Because I am talking about numbers here, integers over here. So in Java, when you're creating a variable, which is an integer variable, and you're not giving any initialization to it, or not giving any initial value to it, Java will consider as a 0 as a default. So I created an integer array, and obviously I'm getting the value as 0 for all of them. And you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, they are the indexes of the array. I'll talk about that in a minute. But this is one way you can debug just by hovering on your mouse on top of the variable, and it gives you an understanding what's going on there. That's number one. The other way is you can double on it, right click on it, and say watch. And that brings you to the console called as expressions. And there you have the nums. Now, if you click on that again, it gives you a similar information. However, in this situation, you can perform some operations at runtime, meaning, for example, I want to know what is the size of my array. I can know that with the help of a command. So in this section itself, I can say dot, and I can say length. Sorry, not the uppercase, but lowercase. Length, and hit enter, and I get the value as 5. So you see, I was able to perform some operation at runtime, which is why debugging is so much important, because without debugging, you are not sure why the problem is happening for you. Whatever the problem you will get, you need to solve it out with the help of debugging, where you want to inspect the components one at a time and figure it out why the problem is, right? So I'm just trying to introduce you things like debugging and many other stuff as we go along the course, right? So this is my integer, which I have created with the 5 empty boxes. That's fine. Now I can go ahead and I can add in. I'll stop the debugging, by the way. I can start the debugging right there from the console. Just click on this red dot to stop the debugging. That's gone. Now, I said there are multiple indexes of an array. So I say nums of 0. Okay. And I give the value as 10. Okay. So in the index number 0, I give the value as 10, and then I can go on and I can give the value as 120. Let me quickly add in for others. So 2, 3, 4, 20, 30, 40, 50, 50. Okay. And what do I do then? I'm just going to say, I'm going to add another index. Nums 5 equals 60. What does it mean? Nums 5 equals 60, right? So I'm just trying to put the value in all these indexes. Again, I'll put a breakpoint in line number not 50. I'll put a breakpoint line number 57. Okay, just there, 58. Okay, and let's see. So now at this situation, if I hover, I get the value 20, 20, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 in all the indexes. That's fine. However, now if I want to execute the line number 60, how can I do that? I can use something called a step over in debugging, right? So you can see this particular arrow, this turned arrow. You see that? This turned arrow is called step over. You can go to that step over. That will take me to the next line, and you can do it one more time so that you can execute line number 60. And that's where something happened. What happened? I'm getting some exception. Exception is saying array index out of bound exception, meaning the index, the size of the array is 5. However, you are trying to add a value to the 6th place, which is not even there. So which is why it says array index out of bound exception. Okay, so we will see a lot of exceptions like this, and we will try to figure this out. So which means that in this situation, I cannot really add in the 6th value unless I go and change the size of the array to 6, right? That's how the array works. In array, everything that we hear is basically index 0 to 4, and the last index number will be the length minus 1. Length of the array is 5, so the last index number is 4. Length minus 1 always. That's an array. There are multiple ways you can declare an array. The first is this guy. The preferred one that I use is int nums2 int array nums2 equals, within the flower braces, you can go on and you can add in multiple different values. Now by doing this, what's happening is you are creating an array at the same time you are initializing, or you're sending, or you're putting the value inside it. Like in the previous case, I was adding the value 1 at a time, but here that's not the case. Here you're directly getting it done. At the same time, you are initializing the value, initializing the array, as well as you're adding the values inside the array. I prefer this option more than the previous one. Okay, so this is basically an array, and array rules, I have explained that. Questions, okay, loops, for loops, while loop, and there are many different kind of loops we have var args to cover up. We were able to cover only class 1 and class 2 today. We don't have to be over concerned about it. I will enable you for week number 2, okay, so that you guys can work on it. Let me just go on and talk about week number 2. Okay, so week number 2, where we're talking about how to create Java class, what is an object, learn about dev tools like Selenium, what is Selenium, what is dev tools, what is Chrome driver, learn about HTML layout. Okay, we were able to cover just these 2 guys today, this one and this one, but that's totally fine. I will have to okay, not this 2 video, actually the 3rd video as well. In the slide deck I have added everything in the one slide deck only, but I think I'm just have to add in the loops and var args. So next weekend when we come in, I will obviously go through the arrays one more time. I'll talk about the loops one more time. I'll talk about the var args as well. And then we will start talking about the Java class and Java objects. By the time, I'm expecting you guys to take some time to learn the videos, go through the videos if you have not done it yet, and then also pick up these videos. All am I saying is, if you are not putting the effort in the right time, what will happen is every weekend I will be enabling you new classes, and that will like feel too much pressure on your head. So whatever I'm enabling you for the week, try to complete it by that week, okay? So that when you get the next set of classes, it is much more easier for you to grasp, right? So that's where I want to end up the class today. Is there any questions that I can answer? And this was our first class. I would like to understand your feedback about the class. What do you think? Is it going good? Am I too fast? Or you want to give me some suggestions? What do you think?
One suggestion I would like to make, Souvik, if you can just introduce like a 5 minutes break after an hour session or 45 minutes, just a 5 minutes break would be good.
Yeah, I totally get that. And from next day, I will do it. I generally do that, but yeah, we were in a flow, and I was thinking that I will cover up all the 4 videos today, but that didn't work out. That's fine. That's fine. No problem at all. I'll do it from next weekend for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, I really like today's session, Suvak.
Thank you, Brian.
One question I have is on the practice projects and assignments link that takes us to Google Drive.
Yes.
In there is, if I just open it myself here, I'm looking at class 2, and there's some folders in there called first project and handling data types. And I'm not sure what we're meant to do with those. There's
those are the same project. Yeah, those are the same projects which I have used when I was recording the class, right? Okay. So these 2 projects you're talking about, right? The same projects that I have used when I uploaded it here because that's the same project I created when I recorded the class. So it is going to be a reference for you if you want to just exactly work it out along with the video. So in every class, you will find these kind of folders that you can use it for your own practice. Okay. By the way, there were a lot of assignments that I've given you guys. And what I will do is I will upload the assignments into the folder. Let me quickly take you to the folder structure there. So our assignments, it was Feb 21. Assignments. Okay. Free sessions. And there are people who have uploaded this here. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder in here. Everybody didn't do it, as you can see that. I'm going to create a new folder here, and then I will be uploading the assignment solutions. What we can do is we can actually next weekend, we can get started with the assignment solutions first for week number 1, and then we can start the week number 2 discussion. Okay. I think that will be better. Okay. So however it feels comfortable for the whole batch, we can be flexible. There is no problem at all. And there is no pressure, just to make it understandable for you. There is no pressure for the whole batch. This is a little crowded batch, as you can see. So don't feel pressure that we have to complete the course within 4 months. If there is a need, I always keep at least 2 to 3 weeks of buffer for us. I generally think of completing the whole batch in 16 weeks. And if there is any need for us to kind of take it a little slow at times and probably use a couple of more weeks of buffer, we can easily do that. It's quite flexible. So don't worry about that piece, right? Next week, I'm going to start the week number 2. I will enable the week number 2 today itself. By end of the day, when you come back and you open your WisdomQ application. Here you will see week number 2 and 1 as well. And then you can start up your week number 2 journey, right? I would like to hear from others as well. I heard from Bran. What about others? Abe or Debbie, Bran, what do you think?
Excellent class. Thanks, Civic.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, it's all right with me.
Yeah, Abe, go on.
Yeah, it's all right with me as well too. Yeah, thank you.
All right, perfect, thank you. Agatha, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Just one question about assessments, those quizzes.
Yeah.
At the end of the quiz, it's always asking us to put an email, to insert an email, but I never received any notification.
It is not for you, Agatha. It is for our statistics actually. So because when you add the email and your name, right, we are seeing that report in our end, right? That's how I know that it is coming from you, right? That's why. Okay, that's why.
Just checking, because this was the first week, so I didn't know if we're supposed to receive something or not.
No, there's no email going to you there. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Cool, thank you. What about someone who joined? Debbie, how about you? Are you good with today's session? Debbie, are you there?
Hello, Suvik.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Abe. I just want to, I don't know if it's going to make sense to everybody, but what I just noticed is that during the video, there's some things that you do that you don't tell us how you do it. You just do it. And like most of us, we don't really know much about the programming thing. For instance, the first video, when you ask us to toggle breakpoint, you know, how did you toggle the breakpoint? You know, what did you press to do it? You know, you just did it, you know, and you know, the instruction to do it is not there. For instance, as well.
I mean, toggling breakpoint. I mean, because you're taking that example, toggling breakpoint is nothing but just double clicking on that line. For example, that's a breakpoint. That's a dot. That's a breakpoint. You just double click to untoggle it, and just double click on it. That brings it there, right?
Yeah, I know. I found out later on, but you know, when you did it, you didn't tell us how you did it.
I mean, in the video, is it?
Yeah, in the video, and some other instances.
All right.
As well too.
So perfect. There is no problem. So if you, as I said, right. So we have to use the entire tool set that I'm giving you. So whenever there is a question, without thinking twice, put that question immediately in the Slack. I mean, last week, there were a lot of people who tried to connect with me regarding the JDK. That's the reason we have two people. I mean, me and Gagan, we are in two different time zones. Whoever will be online, we will immediately reply back. And many times I have immediately replied back with the result or with the answer. So if you have a question, just immediately thinking twice, just say, Savik, what is this, right? Whether it's simple or whether it's advanced doesn't matter, and I'll immediately respond to you back, because this channel is always active, and you see I have my Slack on every time. I get as soon as you put in something, I get the message, and I immediately respond to you back there, right? So try to ask me the question in the Slack, and if there is something missing there, I can definitely answer you there, okay? And obviously in the live class, you can ask me the question as well, okay?
Thank you.
Perfect, thank you, man. All right, so who else? We will try to talk to Prabhu. Prabhu, are you there? I didn't get time to introduce you to the team. Do you want to, are you there, Prabhu, or you left? I don't see you there. Are you there? No, I don't see him there. I think he left. Okay, never mind, that's fine. All right, so that's pretty much that I wanted to cover up today, guys, and let's come back next weekend and we will just start from here on, okay? And please connect me in the Slack channel, okay? Thank you all. Thank you. Have a great weekend and week ahead.
Thank you, Souvik.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Take care.
guys. Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Souvik.
Bye.
Cheers. Have a
Bye-bye.
good
Are you there?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Hello.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Souvik. Yeah.
I'm there. Yeah, Anisha, tell me.
Yeah, so Souvik, the 35 minutes which I missed in the morning today, watching the video would be enough, right?
Yeah. This video, by the way, these videos are going inside the YouTube link, right? I mean, in this particular location, I think I have already mentioned in the email. It is going to be here.
My drive.
In the drive. Just a minute.
One quick question, Souvik, while you're showing this.
Go on.
How easy it is to uninstall Java 15 and download Java 11? So
it is very simple. I mean, the way
okay.
you will uninstall any application, you will do that.
Okay. All right. So, but do you reckon I should uninstall Java 15 or and download?
You should, because we will be later on using Jenkins. Jenkins will not allow us to work with Java 15. We need Java 11. That's why.
Okay. All right. Perfect. We'll do that.
Shoaib, I think your friend left early, so
I think he had some issues with internet. He was saying.
Yeah, I couldn't introduce him today, but I'll do it next weekend. That's fine.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so what I'm saying is the summary session recording will be here in this location. Summary session recording will be here in this location. So kickoff session is here. I will add in to this session as well. Okay. So that's where you can go and take a look into it, right?
Sure.
Perfect. All right. Okay. That's it for today then. See you next weekend. Bye-bye, guys.
Yeah, bye.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Eric. Bye. Bye, Debbie.